I'm going to tell you how to make £5,000 from literally reselling clothes. I started doing this when I was 12 years old, so trust me, no matter how old you are, you will be able to do this. You already know I hate long intros, let's get straight into it. Okay, let's say that you've just set up your Depop account. It has no items on it and it just has your profile picture and name on it. The first thing you need to do is research what is selling best at the time and then find out what you want to sell. For me, I have a couple of paid softwares I use, but I don't even need them. Just go onto ChatGPT and ask it what is selling best this week depending on eBay, Depop, and Vinted search results. It will ping back 20 different categories and brands of clothing. Just choose 5 that you like and decide to go with that. So let's just say you want to go down the vintage wholesale market, which includes Nike, Adidas, Carhartt, Dickies, stuff like this. You now have to research your market. This sounds scary, but all this means is searching up a Depop seller or a Vinted seller who is very much like you. Find somebody who is your role model. They sell exactly what you want to sell. They already have good reviews, and look at their items which you like and you would sell and compare the pricing. The reason this is important is because you need to know how much you need to pay so you can still make a profit on these items. So now you know what you want to sell, you have to actually source that inventory. How do you do that? A lot of people do this by going to thrift stores, but if you don't live in somewhere like London, you are just not going to find anything. Even if you do live in London, it is not going to be consistent. People will get there before you one day, and then what are you going to do? So to obviously avoid this problem, you have to go to a wholesaler. A supplier or wholesaler is somebody who buys all of these items in from different parts of the world for very, very cheap, meaning they can sell it on for cheap as well. Quick disclaimer, do not go onto Google and search up best supplier for Depop, because it will just give you the company that has paid for some Google ads. They're not actually good suppliers. So if you want suppliers that aren't just the first page on Google, I've literally spent my whole life, 7 years doing Depop. So I have all my suppliers that I give people contact to. So I have all my suppliers on my website and you can literally purchase their phone numbers. So choose a supplier that sells the kind of stuff you want to buy. And from here, it's as simple as just negotiating with the supplier. My suppliers are great as well because they understand people do not have £500 to spend their first time. You can spend like £250 with them. They will work with your budget. So now you will have ordered your clothes and they will arrive to your house in 3 to 5 days. What do we do with these clothes? Well, we need to take high quality photos. The number one reason why I see people do not make sales is because their photos look so bad. 75% of Depop sellers all use an iPhone to take cameras, yet the majority of photos are so bad. So you need to stand out and actually take quality ones. Lay your piece of clothing on a flat surface and also with a clean background. Make sure your phone setting is 4:3 on the ratio and that your lighting is good. Just use natural daylight and take them outside. It's really not that hard. You're going to take photos of every item and list them up into your Depop or Vinted. When you're listing these up, do not just dump all of them on one day. The algorithm loves it when you put 3 to 5 items on one day and then keep doing it over the next. So if you're ordering a box of 60 items, just post something like 5 items a day. Once all of your items are live, you know how to actually sell those clothes. This again is the second part where people love to go wrong. But if you do these things, I guarantee you will make a sale. I'm not just saying that as well. Firstly, refresh your listings every single day. If you don't know what this literally means going onto your listing, editing a little bit about it, and then resaving it. The algorithm thinks it's a fresh listing and it puts it back on people's search engines. Number 2, engage with your buyers. This means anybody who messages you about an item, even if they are not going to buy it in the end, reply to them super quick. Not only is this good for the customer, it's actually good for the Vinted and Depop algorithms. They really like sellers who are constant on their DMs. Number 3 is use social media. And by social media, I don't just mean posting photos on TikTok with a little price of your item. I mean use TikTok, Instagram, Reddit rooms, Facebook groups. You need to put yourself in the mind of your ideal customer. Where would they go? What type of groups would they be on Facebook? Just try and shout about your store in the right places. If you can do this every day, every week, this will genuinely make a difference. Now finally, run promotions. What this means is every time you make a sale, have a little handwritten card in there which gives people a discount to come back. On your Instagram story, put up items with flash sales and make discounts, because that is how you build a cult following, which is so valuable on Depop and Vinted. Now once you get this stage of the business model correct, it's very hard to go wrong. But where it does get tricky is the scaling method. So here's a few things that I do, which means I do not have to touch some of my stores anymore. I firstly automate the process. So this means that I have paid people to go and take all my photos, order my stock, and then even make the sales and do all the messaging too. You're obviously only going to do this once you've done like 40, 50,000 pounds in sales. But where I found people to replace my roles is overseas. You can find people to do your work very cheap and they'll still be very happy because the currencies are different. And then after I'd automated my process, I then partnered with a wholesaler. This is fairly rare and it only happens when you work with somebody for like 5-10 years in this space. But this is really good because if you give them 5 solid loyal years of business, they will pay you back by giving you discounts for the rest of your life, as well as potentially having a partnership where you can both make money. So let's say we're a year ahead and we have now scaled. You need to be in a place where you can maintain this. For me to do this, the one role that I do not automate is that I track what sells best, because I like being the one to communicate to all my different stores and my teams to manage what we sell. If If you can just be in the know about what's selling best, you will always be a little bit ahead of the other people who are trying to sell. If you then offer exclusive drops, something that I've done now with my Depop and Vinted is that I collaborate with such brands and other Depop sellers where I can then offer 90s vintage streetwear drops. This really helps when you're past that first year of Depop because it gives people that credibility that you are known for just dropping gems and that people don't have to waste time on Depop. They can come straight to you and you are trusted. And then the final stage I recommend doing, because this just gives you crazy sales, is of course just cross-listing your items. There is softwares for this. You can do this yourself. Just make sure that your items are being posted in as many places as possible. This has been massive for me. It's literally enabled me to get a whole entire US audience on my Depop. Yeah, I think that is pretty much everything that I would give you guys today. This is a rough guide of how I've been able to scale my different stores on Depop and Vinted, eBay. So this definitely should help some of you guys. Again, if you need a supplier, you can just go to the website, top link in our bio. As I said, we have so many different suppliers for different niches, different brands. I guarantee there will be one there for you. Other than that, I have nothing more for you today, guys. Please just let me know what you want to see next. And yeah, sound, I'll see you soon.